Okay. All right, on to the group portion. So I sent a note out at the start of the week asking for any input on what you guys would like to learn, and received several pieces of really good feedback. And so we'll jump into those. Some of them will only take a couple minutes to talk about, and some might take a little bit longer. And I'm interested to hear what you all are doing. And I'm glad certain people are on, because we're going to definitely reach out to y'all. So the first thing that was brought up was Casey brought up social media. Casey, would you like to refine your question? What is it that you're interested in learning about social media? I think you said something about good examples of Instagram and Facebook ads.
Yeah, so I think, I don't know if a lot of the newer people know, especially through Command, how we can do the Facebook ads and the Instagram ones, and how those can be really helpful for lead generation. So I don't know if anybody has done that. I know since you're somewhat of a master of it there, Josh, it's a good piece that, like I said, we're getting our leads from certain posts with those, but again, it's something from your Facebook and your Instagram that you can get leads based on, maybe if you're looking for new clients, if you're advertising a listing you're doing, if you're looking for buyers. So that's kind of where I was thinking then.
Great. So let's open this up to the group. Who's having success right now in running? Let's start with Facebook ads. Just speak up.
Some.
Me, I am.
Casey said you're having good success. So are you bringing this question up for the good of the rest of the people? Is that why you brought it up?
Yeah, but I also want best practices also too. So
Okay.
I'm doing the same thing, and I'm getting good results, but could I be getting better results?
Well, let's start with you, Casey. What are you doing well, or what do you think you need to improve? And everyone listen up, because this is a viable source of business.
So I did a couple ads where I had the multiple listings on the Facebook ad, and I got zero traction. I got zero learn mores, no hits from that. When I did single ones, if it was, I got better traction. Open house ones, I'm seeing less and less. It was more about if you put something that said new listing. But I got decent quality leads. It just said, I don't know if my verbiage that was in it was not attractive enough. What are the things that should be there first? I know open house, one of those things that stands out for people. New listings, those things that stand out. I'm just trying to figure out what would be the keys to make it so people are going to hit that, like you said, sign up or learn more.
Great. So one of the things that is helpful for me, and can you all see my screen? Is to change it up. So for so long, I only did like open house advertisements, which is great if you've got an open house to advertise. But right now, with inventory so low, I've decided to just start trying to promote anything that I can. So I know like folks like Melody, for instance, you've got like a first time home buyer seminar that you might want to try and drum up interest for. Or, we've got other fun events, Brian, shoot, you could probably do like some sort of mountain biking event. For me, my team, we're doing a March Madness bracket challenge. And so I wanted to change it up a little bit and try to get some outsiders into that. The key, in my estimation, is to draw people's eyes with a good image, right? And so an image that's going to catch people's eyes. So this basketball, like this would stop me because I enjoy basketball, or I like March Madness. And it's timely because March Madness was starting last week at this time. And I also include emojis. If you're not including emojis, guys, then I want to encourage you to. And also change it up. And we've had this discussion before, but change it up between regular like punctuation and capitalization. And then also throw a couple like all caps in there. You want to You want to cause people's eyes to stop on your ad and actually like read through. So, all cap words tend to scream at me. And so I see time, win, free. Okay, cool. I'm in. And you pair that with the emojis that might catch your eye. We're just giving people a reason or excuse to stop on our ad, right? And then when you go down to this piece right here, register your bracket today by clicking here. I want a call to action. Every ad that you ever run should have a call to action. You're spending money on it. Don't you want results? If I was just to say, brackets are released, yay. Well, where's the call to, like, how am I going to get any leads from that, right? And so if you're running an ad for an open house, or there's a listing in your neighborhood and you want to promote that, don't just say, hey, new listing, period, right? What should the call to action look like? It should probably be reach out today to schedule your showing. Reach out today to learn more. Click here today or ASAP, something that's time sensitive. By doing that, you're gonna generate leads, I promise. Additionally, when you go in to set up your campaign, and for those of you who aren't aware of how to run campaigns even, I want to encourage you to get on Rachel's classes. Rachel has classes 3 times a week. And if you don't know how to get access to those, then let me know. Shoot me a note, please, and I will find a way to get her in touch with y'all. But she will take you through the process. You have the ability through this little button here to take that person either to your website or to a landing page that you've created. So for this, I had this button right here, take them directly to the sign up page for this bracket challenge. I'm happy to say that there are people in my bracket challenge that I have no idea who they are or how they got there. I'm just assuming they got there through this. In addition to that, you're going to be notified when people like your ad. When a person likes your ad, you can actually go to your Facebook account, click on these little thumbprint, the like button, and it'll list the 5 people in this situation that liked your ad. And you can invite those people to like your page. You can also reach out to them through Facebook Messenger and say, hey, I saw you liked my March Madness bracket challenge page. Would you be interested in entering for a chance for a free TV? Or if it's an open house, hey, I saw you liked my open house post. Are you in the market to buy or sell in the next 60 days? Go above and beyond to track these people down. Go ahead and stalk the crap out of them. They basically raised their hand and said, stalk me. I'm going to like your post. That's an interaction. Come find me. Go to every extreme possible to get in touch with these people. This is social media. It's free. It just takes a little bit of time. This ad, let me see. It ran for, I only did it for 1 day. I spent like $20 on it and I got 9 leads. The cost per lead was $2.22. The most expensive ad that I've run in terms of how much each lead costs is, lately it's been about $3, $3.50 per lead. Now, are these leads going to be hot leads that are going to close tomorrow? No. But how many leads really come through that way anyways? I pay $1 billion for Zillow ads, and a lot of those are nurture leads. I just have to be smart and make sure that I don't forget to communicate with them. What tool or resource do we have access to that can allow us to efficiently communicate with people in a way of nurturing?
Smart plans.
Smart plans through command. For you new folks, I know Amanda, Chad, Derek, Jay, even you may not be familiar necessarily with smart plans, but I want to encourage y'all to dig into smart plans on command. There's a tab for that, and steal shamelessly from what other people are doing. I was showing somebody this morning that there's a smart plan that 20,000 other agents across the world are using. Why not just use that? We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We don't need to create our own drip campaigns. That would take us days or weeks, months even. Just let other people work for us. What other insights do you guys have into what's working? And it doesn't have to be command Facebook ads. What are you seeing? And Brendan, I want to pick on you for a minute. Brendan, if you can, are you able to talk?
Yep.
Brendan, what are you doing on Instagram? Can you share with the team?
Well, seeing as I have no listings or anything right now at the moment, most of my content is finding listings, around town, interesting houses with cool features. I post about them. I'll do every once in a while, get on command and do designs for like market snapshots and stuff like that. But a lot of the content that I have now is, stuff that houses or listings that are in Columbus and surrounding areas that I think are interesting, that are going to catch people's eye.
How frequently are you posting?
I try to once a day. It's not always, doesn't always happen. And then I have it linked with my Facebook business page too, so everything gets shared there as well.
Are you asking for permission from these agents, or how do you get around that?
I'm not. I do mention in the posts like who's listed it. I'm not claiming it as my own or anything like that.
Okay. Have you received any backlash on that? Anybody complain?
No.
Okay. Well, so I'm looking at your last post. It's just a picture of a modern looking house, and you've put some verbiage to it, and it got 2 additional comments and 30 likes. That's 32 people by my calculations that interacted essentially with you that you wouldn't have had otherwise, right?
Yeah, so that was a house that's just in my neighborhood in Clintonville. And then usually what I'll do is if anyone likes it or comments on it that I haven't spoken with directly in a while, or someone new likes it or follows me because of it, I'll send them a message directly, saying, "Oh, hey, how you been?" Just starting up a conversation and try to get it towards real estate.
Well, I love that you're not letting your lack of listings impede your ability to try to market. And at the end of the day, do we actually think that anybody cares whose listing that is? They're going to think it's yours. They're going to think you're active. And then when the time comes and you actually meet that person, they'll be like, man, you are busy as heck, aren't you? And you're actually gonna be like, no, I was in my underwear all day yesterday, eating bonbons and drinking bourbon. Because that's what you also do, right? Eat bonbons and drink bourbon.
Yeah, that's just about it.
But you're seeing some positive in your business, right? You've got a couple listings coming up.
Yeah, I've got some. One is a good friend of mine, and another is an ex-coworker who I got back in touch with because of social media. He reached out to me kind of right when I started my business. Actually, two ex-coworkers. So, yeah, those are in the works.
It all comes full circle, guys. You will be rewarded for putting the work in. So put the work in, guys. It's open book test. Brennan is not doing anything that's crazy outside the box. Steal shamelessly and steal his business. What? I didn't say that. Who else is doing good stuff through social media? Anybody else? How much does social media cost? If you want it to, $0. Why wouldn't we explore this as an opportunity? I also will share this, guys. So be as vulnerable as you want on social media. Like, be transparent if you want to, if you're comfortable doing it. And if you're not, I would challenge y'all to be a little bit more comfortable getting uncomfortable. You'll be surprised at how people open up. I got a phone call this morning from somebody who saw a post that I recently made saying, man, thank you so much for posting that. And it went a long way in my life. So thank you so much. And it was good to hear, but it's not one of those people that's going to comment or like, so you never really know if you're making an impact, but don't be afraid to share what's on your heart. I think people will respect you more, and you'll be really, you'll be more transparent. And now stay away from things that'll be divisive, like politics. I would recommend staying away from that because you don't want to turn off 50% of potential clients. But just put yourself out there. Don't overthink it, I guess is what I'm saying.
Josh, I'll say one more thing that I do on Instagram. When I'm like just scrolling through my feed, there's the profiles that are just like Columbus based, either like, about the food scene or the entertainment scene or magazine or, even just restaurants. Occasionally I'll click on the comments and I'll click through the people who have commented and, see if they're Columbus based. Usually if people bought a home, there'll be a post about it saying, I just bought my first home or whatever. So sometimes I'll, go that deep and I'll start following them. And then if I see they post a story or something, then I can comment it on it or like it or whatever. And that just kind of gives you a little bit of an in, but that's how I'm also kind of trying to reach out to the haven't mets, I guess you could put it.
Great. Casey, anything else you think we should cover for social media?
Nope, I think that's it.
I'll say this, my job is also to coach to systems, right? So if we're going to create a system out of our social media arm of our business, we should probably be pretty structured, right? And so if I only want to work Monday through Friday, let's determine ahead of time, how many posts do I want to make each week? Maybe we start and we're just terrible at social media, or we're just scared to do it, and we start with one post per week. Go ahead and pick a day. Make it easy for yourself. Say it's a Wednesday. So every Wednesday I'm going to post on social media. And I'm going to determine which venues. So maybe it's Instagram and Facebook, or maybe it's TikTok, or maybe it's a reel. Pick one, and then you can make a month's worth of material and schedule it to drop every Wednesday. You can do that through command. Didn't know if you guys knew that or not. Also, if you're going to do more than one, then like structure it. So for me, I've shared this before. Mondays are typically like memes. Everyone loves a good meme. Tuesdays, if I got nothing else, I'll go with a gratitude. So I call it Gratitude. Wednesdays for me are market updates. Thursdays and Fridays are typically kind of go with the flow, see where my business is at, but I normally have something that I can throw on there. Be systematized, and don't have to reinvent the wheel every single week. If you can just spend 30 minutes planning what you want to do, you could technically create all the content for a whole month in the span of a few minutes and schedule it out and make your life easier. We're going to say something. All right. Moving on. I pulled up the front page of the MLS. One of the next question, Melody brought it up, was expireds. Melody, would you like to pose your question to the group?
Yeah, I just, I know some of the standard scripts for expireds, but I was interested in if anybody's been working expireds in this market, and might, just find out what are some of the ways that they connect with them or can get in front of them, and some of the verbiage they may be using.
Cool. Is anybody else working expireds right now?
I've reached out to some, but I haven't had success with them.
Chelsea said she's reached out to some, but has not had success with them. Okay, so I pulled up the MLS front page for a reason. Does everybody know about this hot sheet down here in the bottom right? When you first pull up the MLS, it should show a hot sheet. This is good for referencing just a quick snapshot of the market. So this is within the last 24 hours, the way it populates for me. We've had 146 new listings. These are how many went into contract. 14 were canceled for some reason. 86 closed, etc. 5 expired. Okay. Well, I can click on these and determine like where they're at and maybe do a little digging on maybe why they went expired. There's also some other good information on here. So 91 new coming soons. I want to encourage y'all to go back through every single search you've ever set for a potential client and make sure that that little coming soon box is checked on their search. The reason for that is this coming soon thing is relatively new. It's less than like a month old. So all your searches that you set up a month ago or earlier, later, whatever, don't include the coming soon feature. The reason you want that clicked off is because now with that clicked, anytime a coming soon hits the market, you can schedule showings for that bad boy. So Chelsea had a buku amount of showing requests yesterday. Her listing is not active yet. It's only in coming soon status. So all these agents have updated their searches and they're a step ahead of those who have not. So go back through and am I making sense with what I'm saying? Make sure that when you create searches going forward, you only, you click on active homes and on coming soon. I'm going to show you just so I can feel like I can sleep at night. When I go set up a search, I normally do it through quick search. And I click on active homes because I don't want to send anybody a home that's already in contract. That doesn't make any sense. So quickly, there's 1,200 homes for sale right now, single family. And then I also click on this piece here, coming soon. There's an additional almost 300 homes that are in coming soon status that I can schedule showings for. One other tactic, when you're scheduling showings, schedule it for the maximum time allotted to let fewer other people in there. Okay. It's a competitive world. If people allow you to schedule an hour-long showing, take the full hour. It's kind of a butthead thing to say, isn't it? But that's why when you're creating if you have a listing, never let a listing, a showing go longer than 30 minutes. And even honestly, go 15 minutes if you're feeling really froggy. Also, if your seller's comfortable with it, allow overlapping showings. If your seller's comfortable with it, then who cares if the buyer's not comfortable with it? The buyer, if they want the house, they'll go in when another person's there. The house is probably large enough to allow multiple people to come through. Why block off 30 people from seeing your house?
Only one issue I've seen with that, and that's some agents, if they're showing the house and you allow overlapping showings, they'll take the key inside and refuse to open it for the other agents.
That is why there's a functionality on showing time that says, yes, allow overlapping showings and notify the agents that they're overlapping. So everyone should know. And if there's going to be an a-hole agent in there, then I don't know about you guys, but I never let another agent in the house impede my client's ability to get into a house. If I need to be kind of a butthead, if I need to be a butthead for my clients, they're not paying me to represent that other buyer. I don't care about them. I care about my guys. But I see what you're saying, Brian.
Yeah, like we had one the other day where I had to help a friend get into a place, and yeah, the other agent, we were knocking on the door, and there was like, it wasn't just us. There was another showing as well trying to get in, and basically the agent just kind of yelled at the door like, "We're scheduled." To which we all replied, "Yeah, we all are," and just refused to let anybody in until they were done.
Well, did you take a crowbar to his car? I'm joking.
No, I was too hungover for that.
Do everything in your power, guys, to represent your buyer. And unfortunately, at the end of the day, we don't care about the other people. It sounds selfish, and it is, and that's what earns you brownie points in your buyer's eyes. Do what you can. Okay, going back here. Sorry, I got off topic, but I think this is critical for y'all to know. Make sure your coming soons are clicked off. So let's go back to expireds. can somebody explain what an expired listing is?
It's, the contract is up, their listing agreement is up, and so they're no longer being represented by another agent.
Okay, and so therefore, I'm assuming you want to know how to best approach them because they have already raised their hand to say they want to sell, and it didn't sell, and now they're back on the open market, and we have a chance to gain their business as a listing.
Mhm.
Why might a home not sell right now?
Price,
Foundation issues or mechanical issues, roof issues, unrealistic sellers,
Crappy marketing.
condition,
marketing.
I will say it's not going to sell for two reasons. It's not going to sell because it's overpriced, or it's not going to sell because it's not marketed well. Brian, I agree with you. It might fall out of contract over time because of those other things like crappy foundation and stuff. But ultimately, if we're doing our job as a listing agent, we're going to reduce the price to make it enticing enough for people to overlook it, right?
Oh yeah.
So ultimately, odds are when you do reach out to an expired, you're going to approach it likely understanding that they had unrealistic expectations, like you said, Brian, or that the agent just did a crappy job of marketing it. So let's click on expireds. Let's see in the last 24 hours, these 5 things went expired. So I've got land in Racine. No idea where that is. Well, let's look at the listing member. Okay, this tells a story. For those of you who don't know, and I'm not going to say the names out loud because who would do that and disrespect our fellow realtors, right?
Plus, that's basically my aunt. So
This is your aunt? Is that what you said?
basically, she's known me my entire life.
That's great. And she runs a low fee brokerage. Does anyone know what that means?
It's fee for service.
They post the listing and that's about it, right?
Well, there's 3 different packages basically, but one of them basically is just like posting it, and then the seller takes all the calls, writes all the addendums, does everything. One I think includes photography, and then one includes kind of a actual representation, and it's all fixed amounts, so it's not based on the percentage of the purchase price.
Well, that's a lot of information. Good job, Brian. Thanks for coming through for your aunt. Did you call her an aunt?
And whatever. It's AUNT. That's how it's said.
Whatever, man. You're cool. Anyways, typically in a low fee brokerage, they list it and they're not going to help you market it all that much. And so that may explain the one of 2 reasons, right? So maybe in this situation is a marketing issue. So if you are interested in Racine, Ohio, I don't even know where that is. We can track down the property owner through looking at the auditor's website in Meigs County. And if that doesn't work, there are other ways of stalking folks because it could be held in an LLC. I unfortunately am not all that good at telling you the right ways of going about stalking. Anybody else know of different methods for tracking down owners?
TruePeopleSearch.com. It's free.
TruePeopleSearch.com.
All one word, all together. TruePeopleSearch.com. You could track them down by name or address and even phone number. And usually what I do is when I'm trying to track somebody down, I'll look them up on the MLS, click on the auditor's website, and then cross-reference True People Search. If it's not in Mojo, by the way, which is also another way to look at property. But if it's not in Mojo, and I'm trying to confirm that the person that I'm calling is in fact the owner, I'll look at True People Search and cross-reference the name that's on the auditor's website and then go down the list of phone numbers. I found more people that way.
Did you say free people search?
True, TRUE. Yeah, here, I'll write it out here. I'm gonna write it in the chat.
So Deidre is a A-level stalker.
I totally am. I will not even lie.
Hey, what about my people this morning that were on the naughty sites?
Yeah, Lisa's got a fun story. She got a lead from somebody and she researched it and led to an adult site.
You win.
So that's great information, and I just encourage you. What's the best way to track down an owner? Let's say it's a listing. What would be the very best way, in your guys' opinion, to track down the owner?
Realist?
Auditor site.
Chelsea said it. Knock on their door.
Mm.
I don't know if this must have came from family reunion. I was listening to some people and their strategies that they go into, and one realtor in another part of the country said that every day he has a commitment to go knock on one expired's door, and he in turn gets expireds to list with him. Now, not all expireds are occupied, or in land. In the case of land, it's not you're gonna go to that piece of land and expect the owner to be sitting there, right? But in this situation, I'm interested to hear about this one because this one's only listed for 5 days at 435K. I'm sure we could do some research here, and for sake of time, we're not going to, but this is a German village home. 435 is, well, it's not cheap, right? And I wonder if it came down to maybe a marketing issue or a pricing issue. Could be both. Looks like the photographs are decent. So who knows really, but at the end of the day, the best way is to track people down by knocking on their door and just getting in front of the person, because I heard a stat, 80% of sellers go with the first person they meet. Well, that could be you. First person, number 2, I guess. Now, one strategy in regards to expireds is to also go back further than just 24 hours. Like I'm talking a year. You can do that through this, right? Let's click on expireds. And then let's take the clock back. It didn't collect there, did it? All right. We have a total of, in the past year, come on, baby. Sorry. 3,000 expireds. Doesn't sound right, but you can do a map search. If there's one location that you're super interested in, draw a circle around it and it'll populate all the expireds. And then you could have an itinerary for your whole week and go door knock one a day, or go research one a day, or get with Deidre and stalk one a day. At the end of the day, scripting, it can be important, but nothing's going to be more important than just trying to get in front of that person in some way. Jay, you had mentioned you found some really good scripts. Did you find any that related to expireds? Is Jay still on? Jay is not on anymore. I will try to do a little bit of research and try to find some good scripts for expireds.
Barino has some. Coach Barino, and I think it's free. I think you can find them for free if you Google him.
What I've done in the past is just try to have a conversation with the person. So if I do get a person to pick up, it's more, hey, my name's Josh. I'm with Keller Williams, and I know you've probably gotten a million calls. I just want to know, why do you think your home didn't sell? And when you let them vent a little bit, you're probably going to get to the nitty gritty of it. You're probably going to hear, well, my realtor didn't try to market it, and it wasn't my fault, that's for sure. But you might really get to the bottom of the issue. Maybe they weren't available to show the house, and ultimately you'll go from there. But your real hope is to say, well, hey, I've got some strategies that might work in selling your house. Would you be interested in hearing those? You know, with the market the way it is, I really honestly think there's no reason that a home shouldn't sell if
Right.
we approach it the right way. And I've got some strategies I'd love to share with you. So these are people that have raised their hands. It's kind of like a for sale by owner. They've raised their hands. They want to sell. Now it's just a matter of convincing them to sell with us. All right. Wanted to talk about escalation clauses. Dawn was on. Dawn, did you want to repeat your question for the group?
Josh, I'm just not 100% comfortable with it. Like I have closed on a few houses and I'm working with 2 buyers right now. And I just think I think somebody else maybe mentioned it. I think Dana did. And I just seconded because I'm just not 100% comfortable with what it actually is.
Okay. Let's show you. Okay, I'm on dot loop. I know that Cat Partners uses sign, but regardless, we both have access to the same things. Under templates, if you go, I normally just go to Columbus Realtors and type in Esca and it'll automatically pull up. So let's pull this up. This is what would you would attach to your offer if you're going to use an escalation clause. Can somebody describe what an escalation clause in a nutshell is?
If somebody offers.
Hold on.
I'd like
somebody
to invest, but
offers
with an
higher-
indefinite amount.
Somebody else, I don't know.
Chelsea, go.
If somebody offers, has an offer higher than what your offer is, you're pretty much saying that you're willing to go over that offer by a certain increment up to a maximum amount.
In this market, it's a great offer strategy because you're playing it safe a little bit more than you would be by just putting let's say a home is valued or is listed at $200,000, but your client understands that this is a crazy market and they're willing to spend up to $250K. Do we want to just come out and offer $250? Probably not. I would rather say, hey, we'll offer starting price $220. We're willing to go up to $250. We'll beat the next best offer by whatever, $1,000 maybe. This might potentially save your client some money in the long run and still get them the house for under what they wanted to spend. It's called an escalation clause. If you think of an escalator, like at the mall, an escalator's kind of got that stair step thing, right? And it consistently goes up, but there is a cap on the escalator. So as we read the escalation addendum here, you write down the address. What is the initial offer? So the basement or the floor offer is X. So let's say in this situation, we said 220. We're willing to offer 220 to start. It shows power and aggression. We are willing to, what number 1 here says is we are willing to go up $1,000 over the next best offer. In no event shall the offer exceed. This is where you get to your ceiling. So we got the floor at 220. We're going to stair step up $1,000 over the next best offer up to a ceiling of 250. This is where it's noted. Now, a lot of times my clients ask me this, well, how do I know that something triggered this? Is there a safe way of getting proof of that? Yes, the seller has to, within, I think it's 24 hours is typically what it is. Within 24 hours, they've got to supply to you what the triggering offer was, and they've got to show you that offer.
Okay, that's awesome.
So in this situation, let's say we offered 220 and there were 10 other offers. The highest offer was 235. Well, according to this math, your offer would then jump up to 236. And you saved your client 14 grand. Think about it that way.
Does the seller necessarily, does the seller have to accept that offer then at that point?
The question that Chelsea's asking is, does the seller have to accept that offer at this point? No, the seller can accept any offer that they want. They can accept the lowest offer. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, seller has all the leverage.
highest isn't always the best offer.
Truth. Does that explain escalation clauses in a nutshell?
Yes, that was great. Thank you.
I encourage people to write escalation clauses in this market. Now, if you are a seller and you get multiple escalation clauses, it can be mildly confusing because this person beats this and then that person beats that, and it's kind of confusing. If you run into that and you have questions, just let me know. I'm happy to assist. And whenever I get an offer with an escalation clause, I am begging other people to up their offers so that it triggers a higher price point. And also think of the gap that you're doing. When I say gap, number one here, think of your stair step. How much higher are you willing to go? Because if you're only gonna write like $25, who cares? $25 when you were talking about a $300,000 home, that's stupid, right? 1,000 would be the minimum in my eyes. If you really want to set yourself apart, go 2,000, go 2,500. And this is for a person that can afford it. Not everyone can afford to do an escalation clause, and I understand that. If your client can, though, go ahead and do it.
Okay.
I was actually gonna say, I'm sure everyone does read their agent to agent notes, but make sure you're reading them because I feel like you're seeing more that it will say.
Chelsea said, make sure you're reviewing your agent to agent notes because a lot more and more these days, people are saying in the agent to agent, we will not consider escalation clauses.
Yes, I've seen that several times. Good point out.
In my estimation, it's because they don't understand them themselves, probably. I don't know. But I want to show you where you're going to put that. So on the residential purchase contract, that notation goes right in here. On 1.1, you're going to say, 1, please see attached escalation clause addendum.
Okay.
And some agents, like listing agents, just like things cut and dry. Like, hey, I just want to see your highest and your best. Let's not mess around with escalation clauses. So I do understand why some people don't want to see them. There's no right or wrong. What else? Anything else on escalation clauses? We've got 5 minutes left, guys. I want to open it up.
I think we should take a vote for who wants to see Josh do a TikTok dance.
Chelsea said we should take a vote for who wants to see Josh do a TikTok dance. Not sure anyone heard you. Sorry. I'm trying to convince her to do TikTok. Okay. And so is anybody doing TikTok? Let's see who else is on the call. I'm going to stop sharing here. There's some young people here. Amanda, you're young, you're hip. You can do TikTok. Chad, you're young. I want to hear somebody successfully doing a TikTok. I don't even know how to do one. And I honestly think that I believe that we need to use all the resources. And when we think about TikTok, we might think of a young person's game, but are first-time home buyers young? Yeah. I think it's a viable opportunity if you like video. It's just me arguing with myself here. What other things? We got 4 minutes left. What would we like to discuss? Any questions?
I was going to make a comment. I came across another offer situation where somebody put down $5,000 earnest money that was non-refundable, which really ended up giving them a huge leg up on the offer situation. So, and I hadn't seen that before, so I thought that was worth sharing.
Something really similar I also heard the other day was not, I guess it's kind of the same thing as it being non-refundable, but the way that it was worded was that the earnest money would be credited to the seller at closing rather than the buyer.
I love that. And if your person can afford to do that, it shows the utmost strength because they're basically saying, we'll walk away from $5,000 if we back out. That's as strong an offer as you can really come up with. That's great. That happened on your condo? Well, don't share that. We probably shouldn't share details. By the way, congratulations, Rory, on getting into contract on your condo. Brian, you just had one go into contract as well, right?
Yep.
Let's see here. Deidre, you've had something go into contract in the last week or so. Chelsea, you got your listing going live. Lisa, congratulations on getting some stuff into contract. Brendan, congratulations on getting some listings. So there's a lot of good activity, guys. I want to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. At the end of the day, if you did not catch last week's call on lead generation, I want you to go back and I want you to listen to it. There were 1 or 2 major go-dos. Did anyone have success this week on establishing their Google Calendar? I have one person that said yes. If you're not instituting a calendar, guys, then I don't know what you're doing. If you can't manage your own time, you can manage to go find probably another job because you might not be successful in this industry. You can't manage your time. We've got a time block lead generation. Some of these things we talked about can do lead generation for you. So social media, Instagram, it's a great opportunity. Got a couple minutes left. Floor is yours.
Hey, I have a question. You like Instagram more than Facebook?
Depends on what you're trying to do. Instagram is great for pictures and for video, not so much for verbiage. I think if I've got more of a story to tell that I wanted to tell with words, I would probably err towards Facebook, to be honest. And I'm not, by no means am I like the resident pro. Next week, guys, I want to encourage you. I'm on vacation next week. My family and I are taking a trip, and there's going to be somebody standing in for me. Her name is Christina Romanelli. She is a boss on social media, and she is slaying real estate right now. I want you guys to hear directly from her. Like the last time I was gone, you got a chance to hear from Taylor, who's doing something completely different. He's doing it from a team perspective. This person just went out solo from working on a team, and she is killing real estate. And she uses Instagram, I think primarily, Chad. And I feel like Instagram is slightly more than like slightly more a young person's game. Facebook has been around a while longer.
Chad, you in Command you can't share onto Instagram, but Facebook has a business suite. If you have a business page that you can link with your business Instagram page, and so you can share the same content and posts simultaneously across Facebook and Instagram from that, if you want to do that.
Beautiful. All right, guys. Hey, I got a success here. Is iPhone Janae? Janae, is that you? Whoever just wrote in the chat, here's a success story. I went to a birthday dinner, gave out my cards, and got one in the next day. Got her on the phone with a lender. That was Tuesday. We are looking for houses now. So moral of the story is she infused real estate into what she was already going to be doing. Good job, Janae. Infuse real estate into what you're already going to do. Take cards with you. If I asked you right now to give me a business card, would you have one?
Yep.
Always have a business card. And your goal is to always give it out. Always empty your pockets.
Gosh, I
Even if-
gave a card to everybody, even the greeter at the restaurant.
Yeah. Talk to more people, get more business. It's that simple. I could not make this industry any easier. Talk to more people, get more business. Now go, my birdies. Talk to more people, get more business. I love you all. I'll talk to you later.